Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another episode of Finding Your Soul in Success, where leaders share their inspirational wisdom with Kathy Gardarian. Hey, Kathy, who'd you bring with you today?
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. Today, I have someone here that's going to another story about how you don't have to lose your soul in success. His name is Ken Potalivo. He started a company in 1997 called ProGrowth, and it's been very successful. And he's going to explain now, actually, the really good news about how his company is actually changing. So, welcome to the show, Ken.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks so much for having me. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome. Glad you're here.
it. Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's been 24 years since I started ProGrowth.
Wow.
And the whole focus of my firm has been to help people in service professions, lawyers, accountants, consultants, commercial real estate brokers, commercial insurance brokers, anybody that has to do two things really well. A, they have to do great work for clients.
Yes.
And B, to be successful, they need to be able to bring clients and business into their firms. And I started it because I helped start one of the larger networking groups in Southern California called, at the time it was called P&G, today it's called Provisors. And I would get 30 or 40 people in the room. I could tell they all had great technical skills. They went to good schools. But when it came to their business, they really struggled. They were like a deer in a headlight. And it was almost like you could sense that their managing partner, just kicked them out the door and said, "Hey, go out and network and bring in some business," right? And so I really felt for them. And they're not trained to do that.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could make a difference for these folks.
Well, networking is difficult anyway, but so
You're absolutely right. I mean, most people really struggle with going to networking events. They don't feel comfortable.
yeah.
I don't know anything about you. How am I supposed to get business from you? That type of thing.
Yes.
And so, I developed a system and a process that has helped a lot of professionals through the years, and it's very gratifying.
Yes, for sure. So tell us about how it's changing and how well, actually before that, why don't you tell me a little bit about after 27 years, how has it affected you in your life and how has it changed you?
It's the best thing I ever did. I was in the corporate world,
Yeah.
and I while I appreciated the roles that I had, I just I enjoy working with people. A lot of
Yeah.
times people say, "Well, you should," I'll bet you wanted to be a coach, a football coach or something like that. And
Yeah.
that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I think from my perspective, over the years, to be able to watch an individual who comes into my program fairly timid and not sure of, who they are and their relative role in their firm,
Yeah.
to come on to the other side and become this very confident individual that speaks well of themselves. And
Yeah.
it reminds me of one of my current clients who's in the accounting world. When he first came into the program, he could, I put a group of them together once a month and we get different perspectives. And for a year, he never talked.
Really? Wow.
And then all of a sudden, one meeting, he shared something and everybody just looked wowed. And from that point on, he started to gain confidence. And believe it or not, he became a partner in this fairly large regional accounting firm. And today, he is the partner in charge of their Orange County office, and they have like 80 people there.
Wow. He
And-
was just shy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, but a lot of that has to do with confidence.
Sure.
What do I say? How do I do it?
Yeah.
That type of thing. And one of the first things I've done with anybody that's come into my program is to give them a disc profile. They can do that in 10 or 15 minutes, and the amount of information that they get from that in terms of their social style and how to use that as a strength is very revealing. And, that in itself helped him understand his social style, but how do you take that social style and use it as a strength with other social styles and so that he could connect. And I'm very proud of him. I mean, that's just one example. I've had many examples like that.
Yeah.
But, I think that the cornerstone of our program is that because there's so much pressure on service professionals to bring in business, and in every discipline, it's so competitive. I mean, just think, how many lawyers do we have within this 5-mile radius of where you and I are sitting?
Yes. Quite a few.
So, or financial advisors. How many financial advisors? So the issue is, why is somebody going to pick the phone up and call me with a referral when they could give that referral to a lot of different people?
Yeah. The business is relationship. And sometimes, again, you just have to connect with people and they have to feel comfortable. And sometimes it's just even
That's right.
their energy when you're with them. You sort of know if you could work or not work with them.
Well, the cornerstone of my program says that you don't need quantity. You need quality.
Yes.
Right? You don't need a gazillion cards in your contact management system, right? You need a few key people that you can build a deep relationship with. We don't go a mile wide and an inch deep. We go an inch wide and a mile deep.
That's great.
Right?
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
and I have to tell you, the pro-growth relationship system has been a key cornerstone that's helped a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, and you were asking me how the program's evolving. Last year, when I was doing my own business planning, I looked at the issues because I always try to find ways to help and improve the lives of the people that I work with. Yeah. And one of the key issues that was coming up over and over again was the lack or the inability to get out and meet new people because of the pandemic.
Sure.
People aren't comfortable going into crowds. People aren't comfortable going to networking deals. But here's what I know. It doesn't matter where the economy is. It doesn't matter where the pandemic is. You still have a responsibility to bring in business to your firm if you want to be successful.
True.
Right?
Yes.
Has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find a way to make that happen. And so the more I thought about it, things kept going to an app. And the reason things kept going to an app, I thought if I can take the pro-growth relationship system and adapt it to an app where somebody can sit in the comfort of their office or their home or wherever they are, and be able to connect with people in our community, and the name of our app is RelPip, and it's short for relationship, REL,
Okay.
and then PIP. And I always tell people that if you develop a long-term relationship, the person has to have, or it has to be purposeful, intentional, and passionate about their business.
Oh, that's great.
Because if they're a flake, you're wasting your time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So RelPip was born.
It's really a different name. It's very, very interesting.
I know. Actually, I can't take credit for it. My wife thought of it.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought, if we can create a community within RelPip, and our mascot is a frog, and the reason we have a frog as a mascot is we say, "Are you tired of kissing frogs?" How about relationships committed to results?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, lo and behold, I went on this journey to build this app. My wife calls me the oldest app developer in the world, but I hired a team out of Pakistan.
Wow.
And interestingly enough, I don't know if you know this, but English is a common language over there.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I wondered why you chose such a place so far
Well,
away.
it's this app that I was on. There's talent all around the world. It's
Sure.
unbelievable. But anyway, my development team, there's cultural differences and that type of thing, but they've been great. And we just, when you get it done, it's not done until it gets past the Apple review board, and it gets accepted into Google Play Store, because we have an Android app and we have an iOS app.
Oh, great.
And we just got accepted into both, and I'm very excited about that.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
great.
we're gonna do a soft opening with people that we know, and our goal is to have 2,000 to 5,000 people when we do our national launch on January 1st. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to give complimentary codes, so that the people that come into our program, they'll get our highest national membership. It's like a $400 value, and for taking a risk with us and coming in. And so my hope is that we get those 1,000 people in, and by the time we launch on 1/1, we're asking each of them to talk to 4 people that they know, and we'll give them codes. But we'll start to seed it with like 5,000 people, and then once people get a feel for it,
Yeah.
I think they're going to find that it's going to really help them.
Wow, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not easy out there, Kathy. There's so much competition now.
Yeah.
And if I can help these people develop a few quality relationships, it's going to change their world.
Yeah. And as we talked about, business is relationship. And I would have to say that in my experience, you have to almost sense what a person is going through and who they are, and you shift how you can be with them and to actually meet the needs of what it is they're trying to do. And so I'm just wondering whether or not if you do it on an app, if you're going to be able to get a sense of that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have analytics that we can see
Okay.
how people are doing, and the reason that we made it a mobile app and not like a hybrid app that you could have on a PC, because everybody's joined at the hip with their phones now, right?
Yes.
And the way that we've structured it is we help the individual throughout the process to connect with somebody. And I like to use an example of if you have 2 connectors, like wire connectors, and they both have to fit together for the connection. That's what this is. I mean, we have instead of just meeting somebody, everybody that comes into our program, they list their discipline, their specialty, the type of clients they have, and the size of clients. And so when we start the relationship with connecting, because we have similar type clients and size of clients, then we can move into the vetting process.
Right.
And candidly, this is like a dating app for professionals.
Oh, so tell me more.
All right. In a dating app, and a lot of people use dating apps today. The first, there's 3 stages in a dating app. The first stage is, do we have chemistry, right? No chemistry, no nada. So you have to have chemistry. In our app, we call it the likability factor.
Okay.
So if you and I are going down that road to become what we call a relationship of distinction now, we got to know we like each other. We got to know that based on who you are and who I am, that you feel good about me and I feel good about you. Because none of us are ever going to refer anybody that we don't feel good about. So we really, really encourage people to take the time to get to know somebody. Go out and have coffee, go out and have lunch, but get to know somebody. Don't rush into this.
Yeah.
This isn't, as you develop these few really great relationships, it takes time to do that. And once you get over that hurdle, just like in a dating app, okay, we got chemistry. Now what do we do?
Right.
Well, the next issue is, in a dating app, what do we got in common?
Yeah.
Right? We might have chemistry, but if we don't have anything in common, it's not going to work. Right?
Right.
In our app, what we have in common is, are we in similar market and market segments? In other words, if we both work with privately held companies as a market, and I'm working on with privately held companies that are 1 to 5 million, and you're working on companies that are 25 to 50 million, our markets match, but our market segments don't. It's going to be difficult for me to help you and you to help me. So we have to make sure that those market segments match up. But if we're both working with privately held companies, and we are working with the size of companies that are in that $5 to $50 million range, ding, we've got to hit, right?
Yes.
So it's important that we explore that and spend time with each other studying each other's book of business, because I want to help you and you want to help me, right? So if we get over that hurdle, then the last hurdle is, in a dating app, okay, I got unbelievable chemistry with this person, and we do have a bunch of things in common, but what about this person's character?
Yeah.
Do they do what they say they're going to do, right? Or are they a flake? Or in our app, we call it, do they have the pip?
Okay. Yeah.
Are they purposeful? Are they intentional? Are they passionate about what they do? Every time that we've had a meeting, I was right there, right? I didn't call and say, oh, by the way, Kathy, I got something else that's more important. I can't make it.
Right.
I did what I said I was going to do.
Integrity is very important.
There
in
you
all
go.
this. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Integrity. So it's, in order, you don't want to, even though you might have chemistry, even though you might have things in common, you don't want to go that last step unless they have that integrity and character, because all it's going to do is give you heartburn. And deep down, I think people know that.
Yeah.
And in a professional relationship, you don't want to have a relationship with a flake. Even though you like them, even though they're playing in the same sandbox as you, it's not going to work.
Yeah. We need to actually just feel really comfortable with each other. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but right now we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
And just a reminder that our host, Kathy Gardarian, has a book out called Feet to the Fire, Finding My Soul in Success. And it's something special. In this transformational memoir, Kathy shares her inspiring stories about how she found her own soul while climbing the corporate ladder. Relying on open-hearted love as her primary motivational tool, Kathy defied the traditional male business structure to become founder and CEO of her own company, Qualis International, a multi-million-dollar sales and distribution company with clients like Home Depot and 7-Eleven. Within these pages, Kathy emboldens readers to bravely hold their own feet to the fire while giving them the tools necessary to achieve deep, meaningful change in the midst of discomfort. With humility, humor, wisdom, and warmth, Kathy offers an alternative path to prosperity using feminine principles that will empower women everywhere. As Deepak Chopra put it, Feet to the Fire is for anyone interested in true success. Using her own story as an example, Kathy offers useful, accessible tools for transformation, combining business with self-awareness. Simply visit feettothefires.com. That's feettothefires, plural.com.
Welcome back. So, tell me again some of the things that You have some other partners with you in this adventure, right?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I'm with RelPip, believe it or not, is going to be pointed at 25 million professionals in the United States.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, having said that,
Your life's about to change, I think.
maybe,
At this-
maybe, um, I'm hoping it will, to the extent that I really hope this helps a lot of people.
yeah.
Now, I look at it on the old 80-20 rule, and 20% of those 25 million are natural born business getters, right?
Yeah.
And they can just knock it out of the park. That's not who I'm interested in. I'm interested in the 80% that are smart, just give them a client and they'll do great work, but they haven't gotten to the point where they really see a business. They're more of a technical person than they are a business owner. And really, every service professional is a business owner in and of themselves, because ultimately people are going to do business with you because of you. Nobody says, hey, my law firm's Jones, Thomas, Williams, and da-da. They say, hey, my attorney is Sue Smith,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I always say too, though. I don't care what kind of business you're in. You're in the service business. You need to do what you say you're going to do and be there. I mean, I really look at that carefully, how someone actually follows through on what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, Kathy, you have an amazing story in and of yourself with Qualis. I mean,
Yeah.
what you built there, but you built it on integrity, you built it on relationships,
Yes.
and to be able to achieve what you achieved is phenomenal. But it just goes to show you
That it works.
that it works if you don't make it all about you. You make
Right.
it about other people,
That's right.
right?
Right. And know how to respond, and make it work for everyone.
Exactly.
But yeah, your word is very important. I remember I had one when we were doing the Home Depot and they were opening 246 stores a year, new ones. We couldn't, the only edict was no back orders. And I had one manufacturer, very important out here, and it was on a Monday. And he said, don't worry, Kathy, the truck left, with the products. And the truth was he hadn't made the product yet. So, and of course, I'm only as good as what my manufacturers can actually do to be in alignment with what I said I would do for the stores. So there's so much of that comes from the integrity of everyone. So you have to just keep watching over and keep, towing the line.
Yeah, Kathy, I call it's about trust.
Yes.
And that guy broke the trust with you.
Yes, he did.
And trust to me is the X factor in a relationship, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We all spend a lot of time and years building our reputations. And just that one event that where he said, "Hey, Kathy, yeah, the truck just left," and he hadn't even made the product, and you found out about that.
Yeah.
Now you can't trust him anymore.
Yeah. It put
The
it on.
reputation just goes down the tubes, right?
Yeah.
So, there's who has the quote that says, you do the right things even when nobody's looking,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
right?
Right.
So, I appreciate you bringing that up, because that's a huge issue.
Yes, and I think I trust that somewhere on your app where people can see that that's important too, and putting that in the equation.
Yeah, I mean, I write a whole chapter about trust in my book,
Okay.
because it's so important. Authenticity, how important is that? Just to be who you are. You don't have to be somebody that you're not,
Absolutely.
right?
In fact, people pick up on when you're
Oh,
authentic
my
and
God.
real. Makes all the difference in the world. And if you don't know something, you say, I really don't know, but I'll find out. It's just about being real.
I know. I mean, I had this one fella, and I think it's because he didn't have a lot of confidence in himself. He would dress up with all the gold on and the handkerchief coming out and trying to impress you, and I could tell that this wasn't who he was. This
Yeah.
is a persona that he felt he needed to have in order to attract high net worth people. And I'm telling you, I don't know how he did it, because if you can't be yourself, that gets very tiring,
Yes.
right? Because you always got to, now what am I going to do? It's
Right.
so authenticity is extremely important.
Yeah. And besides, it's the best way to be comfortable in your own skin anyway. That comes through, and people really actually really honor that.
Yeah, none of us have to be perfect.
No.
You know,
No.
anybody that tries to act perfect, they got a problem, because we know going through life,
Yeah.
we all have ups and we have a few downs now and then, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens.
So on your book, Secrets of Mindshare, tell me just a little bit more about it.
Well, the reason that I wrote that was because I felt that, it's the same thing. I was doing my business plan, and I said, I need to put all of these concepts into a book. I need to put my system into a book so that other professionals can benefit from it. And it's also, for me, it became a manual. Every time I took on a new client, I said, you got to read the book. Not that and I gave him the book. I said,
Yeah.
read the book, because that's going to really help you understand what you're going to go through and what we're going to go through together. It's
great.
one of my first chapters is why some professionals fail financially.
Yeah. Well,
And there's reasons for it. They're really smart. They know what they're doing when they get a client. But there's a lot of smart people out there. They know what they're doing, right? And if you don't have an understanding of your business and where you want to take it, you got issues. There's so many things that can impact. Not understanding your social style, big issue. Trying to depend so much on networking and collecting so many cards and hoping that somebody somehow is going to remember you. They're not. And there's the number of issues that impact. And so I put that right in front of the book, because people need to know that.
yeah.
And then I help them understand that there's a system and a process that we have that will make it work for them. There's no magic in that system and process. It takes work,
Yes.
but if you do the right things, you're going to get the right results.
Well, and I do think it has to do with how we think and see the world. And so as we continue to come against some people who are more difficult, I've had some difficult clients as well. It's how you handle it. So it's not exactly, it is about continuing to grow and learn.
Right.
And I'm sure that's also, you have had a lot of learning along the way too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think one of the keys, and the reason I titled it Secrets of Mindshare, it's about getting your brand
Yeah. Okay.
in somebody else's brain
Yeah.
in the number one position.
Right.
So if you think of Nike, what do you think of?
The swish. Right.
How much money have they spent to get that in your brain?
I know.
Right?
Right.
I mean, there's a number of companies
Yeah.
that, all you have to see is the emblem or whatever it is, and it's them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But for service professionals, it's about getting your brand in a number one or number two mind share position. So when they have that right referral, they're picking that phone up and they're calling you and nobody else. That's the key.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, revenue producers get the referrals they want by making their competition irrelevant.
Well, yeah.
There's a ton of lawyers around here,
Yeah.
but if I'm in the number one or number two mind share position, I stand a much better chance of getting that right referral than if I'm one of the thundering herd.
Yeah. And people do business with people they like. I really have learned that.
But
So,
you can't get to that point unless you
yeah.
really spend time with somebody.
Yeah, that's very true. So I like to talk about quotes, because I think quotes are good for people to hear and to see why they're important. What's one of your favorite quotes?
Well, since, I focus a lot on business.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of them, but I think there's one that I really enjoy, and it's by Henry Ford.
Oh,
And it's about people working together, and he says, coming together is a beginning.
hmm
Keeping together is good, but working together is success.
well, I think that's very true too.
So you can get
Yeah.
together with someone, and you come together. You're keeping together, but if you're working together, good things happen.
That's great.
Yeah.
So your app is coming out the first of the year, but meanwhile, how can people reach you now?
Well, we have an informational website. It's called RelPip.com, and we explain everything on the website. We have the buttons that you can download the iOS app and the Android app
Okay.
onto your phone. And I set it up because I want people to be able to make a decision that works for them. After they review everything, if they think that this is something that can help them, then we would love for them to join us. But I want them to be really committed to it,
Yeah.
because if they're committed to it, they're going to see some wonderful results, because people like to work with committed people.
Absolutely.
And we've put guardrails around things within the app to make sure that we don't get any of these people that just want to come in and what's the word I'm looking for, that just they just want to scam everybody.
Oh,
Nobody can come into our app and do that. They can't just start connecting. And the thing that makes this different, like you know LinkedIn, right?
yes.
LinkedIn's it's a great app, but LinkedIn is sort of it has become the calling card for all of us, right?
Right.
Because when I first meet somebody, I don't ask for the card anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I go straight to LinkedIn, and I look at their background in that, right?
Yeah, sure.
But it doesn't allow for the kind of relationships that I'm talking
Right.
about.
There's no depth to some of that.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, but the good news is that all the people that potential people that we think might benefit from our app are all in that bucket, in the LinkedIn bucket. So hopefully we're going to help LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is going to help us.
Yes.
Right.
It's win-win.
That's right. That's right.
Gosh. Well, it's been so nice. I wish you so much success because it's a whole new way you're going to do this after 27 years. It's great. And I'm so appreciative that you came today and shared your story.
Thanks,
So,
Kathy.
so
Thanks.
thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, everyone, we'll see you again next time.
Well, there you have it. Another great reason to tune in each and every time to Finding Your Soul in Success, the one place where leaders share their inspirational wisdom and ideas with our host, Kathy Gardarian. If you want to hear more about her success and read about her ideas and inspiration, check out her book, Feet to the Fire. You can find it at feettothefires.com. Feettothefires, plural.com. And for more information on us, just check out our site, Orange County's only community radio station, octalkradio.net, streaming live from the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.